everyone. I'm Yajaira Trujillo from La Que Buena. You can listen to me from 7 to 12. And I'm here being honored to be here presenting with you guys. Welcome. I hope we all enjoy this luncheon. I was a little nervous when they told me I was going to come MC because it is my first event in a long time. But I'm here. I'm standing a little nervous, so bear with me and welcome everyone. Let's feel at home for a few hours. We're gonna invite everyone and each of us to use the hashtag, get active on social media, and use the hashtag InnovateCHCC in Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you have. Please help us with that. We also have the tag boards, screens in the main entrance so we can all interact. Let's also remember that this will be going on for the next few days. And the reason I'm reading is because I got the information a few hours ago, so I just hope we do good. And are we ready? All entrepreneurs, how honored I am to be here in the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Let's welcome, if we're ready, let's welcome Deputy Director Juan Garcia.
Here we go. How we all doing? How we doing? Good. Hey Nancy, how you doing? How was your flight? Very good, good. Again, my name is Juan Garcia. I'm the Deputy Director for the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and welcome to beautiful Riverside. Come on. You know what? If my mom was here, she would say, Juan, I don't get your job. I see you on TV, I see you running on meetings, I see you glued to your phone, but what are you talking about? And what I always tell her is that what I do, it's a representation of her hard work, that somebody who grew up in Nayarit in Mexico, who will wake up at 4 in the morning to milk cows, and then had to jump in a combi to go to my middle school that was about 10 minutes away, is making things happen. And I see the CAP students, if you are able to talk to them, please get to know them and let them get to know you. So with that, welcome. We have an amazing program planned for you. There's amazing speakers. There's a lot of work that have been put into this, a lot of bottles of wine. But this really is again, by the gala, you see there is a lot of work that we're putting into this, into transforming the organization. And I would really like to recognize and appreciate how the board directors and our sponsors have been great in allowing us to really listen to what our members have to say. Again, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of things that are working. Get to know you. Make sure that when you meet Wells Fargo, when you meet Pepsi, when you meet Frontier, you not only get to know who they are and what they represent, but you really get to know the representative. Again, it's a pleasure to be here. It has been a pleasure to celebrate my birthday here in Riverside, working hard for you guys. And I can tell you this, Vegas is waiting for me on Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. Now let's welcome Bob Gutierrez, Vice Chair from California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Here we go. Good afternoon, Riverside. Are you guys enjoying your panels and workshops so far this morning? Good. Well, thank you for being here today for our convention this week. We're very excited to have you. We're very thankful for your participation, and we're very excited about today's luncheon. Innovation starts here. It's the theme of our convention this year. And we couldn't be prouder about the program that's put together by our staff. So a big round of applause for our staff and our team for having done that. With international trade becoming increasingly important to the California economic growth, the CHCC is proud to open this year's convention today as the International Trade and Millennial Start Here Day. We have a great program this afternoon. We have some great panelists. They're going to talk about the growth of business and how the economy can further succeed with international trade here. For now, we'll let the program get started. But before I go, I just wanted to thank our major sponsors for having helped us partner this year with putting this event together. They've been a tremendous success together as a partnership. And today's luncheon is being provided to you by Wells Fargo. So thank you, Wells Fargo.
I will build every home with care. I will craft buildings people love. I will give new meaning to no place like home. But first, I will get my own equipment.
Imagine what you can do with the right business credit and personal guidance. Explore your options and apply at wellsfargoworks.com/credit.
Has anybody posted anything online? Please use the hashtag InnovativeCHCC. What if we take a selfie? No? We're too busy? Okay, now we're ready to introduce Assembly Member Jose Medina. Please help me welcome him with an applause.
Good afternoon, buenas tardes. Welcome to Riverside, the 61st Assembly District. Great to have the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce here in Riverside in my Assembly District. So welcome all. Before anything else, I'd like to recognize our City Council member, Andy Melendres, who I saw here earlier, if Andy's here. Thank you, Andy. Andy, the only Latino city council member on our city council, and I don't know about you, but I think we could use some more. Thank you. Well, the theme, international trade, couldn't come at a more timely moment. Last night, I just flew in from San Salvador, had been in Mexico City. Thank you to the Mexican government for the warm welcome there with government officials. And one of the things I heard is that California needs to open up a trade office in Mexico City. So I said that when I came back to California, I would pick up the work that State Senator Lucarea had worked on for many years, and that is to see if California cannot join what I think are the other 30 states that have a trade office in Mexico City. Can I get your support on that? Thank you. So it's a pleasure to be here at this convention. Pleased that Riverside was chosen to host this convention. And as our economy continues to grow in the Inland Empire, I know that hosting this event in our city will be an enormous benefit to our region. As I look around, I'm in awe of how many business owners, entrepreneurs, and employees from all over California have been brought together here to discuss important issues. I know how vital small businesses are to the success of our economy. I know that government doesn't produce jobs, that it's you, small business owners, that produces jobs. I believe that California's dominance in many economic areas is based on the significant role that small businesses play in our state's $2.4 trillion economy. I believe we are now the world's 6th largest economy in the world. Small businesses provide a great amount to our state and economy. They create jobs, generate taxes, and revitalize communities. In the small business profile for the state, it's produced by the U.S. Small Business Administration. It lists California small businesses as employing half of the state's private workforce. That is 6.7 million people being employed by small businesses. Supporting small businesses and ensuring a partnership with the business community has been one of my top priorities for my district. As the former chair of the Assembly Committee on Jobs, Economic Development, and the Economy, I work to support the growth of our economy throughout California and continue to do so. In order for businesses to continue, I find that it's important in meeting with small business owners and constituents to hear their thoughts and challenges that they face. That's why I started a Small Business Advisory Council meeting to meet with local business owners to take their concerns to Sacramento. It's essential to continue to support small businesses in order for the Inland Empire and the state to continue moving forward in growth. I must thank the Greater Riverside Hispanic Chamber of Commerce with the work that is done for providing for more than 34 years to our community and continuing to empower businesses throughout the state of California. And I also would like to recognize a good friend of mine, Andy Soto. Is Andy's here? Andy? Andy, one of the founders of the Riverside Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So thank you for having me here today, and good luck to all of you. Please enjoy the conference and enjoy your time here in Riverside. Thank you.
Believe it or not, I'm getting motivated to start my own business. Maybe next year I'll be here with something. Now we're getting ready to present. I'm excited. The head consul of Mexico in San Bernardino, Salomon Rosas. Please help me welcome him.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank the organizing committee for the kind invitation to this important forum, especially to my friend Frank Montes, the Assembly member Jose Medina, Councilman Andy Melendez, and all Hispanic Chamber that are here with us today, trade organizations, sponsors, businessmen and women, Welcome all to the Inland Empire, the region considered by economists the fastest growing in California and one of the top 3 in America. I cannot see very well my speech, so I'm sorry. I am Salomon Rosas, Consul of Mexico in San Bernardino, serving the San Bernardino and Riverside counties. For Mexico's representation in the U.S. is of the utmost importance to maintain a close and a strong relationship with you. The 10 consulates of Mexico in California and 50 all over the states have involved together with the 15 offices of ProMexico in this country. 2 of them here in California. We are an important network for international trade and cross-border business development between Mexico and the United States. I invite you to come to us. Thank you so much. Thank you. I invite you to come to us. We are your one-stop shop for everything that has to do with Mexico and Mexican nationals. Let me tell you that there are 36 million Mexican and Mexican Americans in the States, and 12 million are here in California. For those who are already do business south of the border, we ask you to let us help and assist you by making your business trips more rewarding. We can arrange the support of the state's economic development offices to your agenda. I like to point out some data that reflect the strength of the Hispanic market and the great contribution of the immigrant community to this economy. Hispanics represent the largest minority market in a country in which household consumption generates 70% of the GDP. In 2015, Hispanics' purchasing power surpassed $1.5 trillion, close to 11% of the purchasing power in the States. 6 million U.S. jobs depend on trade with Mexico. Around 570,000 companies in the United States, more than 1 in every 25, are owned by Mexican immigrants and generate $17 billion annually. Mexicans in America, including first and second generation, contribute with 8% of the country's GDP. Mexico and the U.S. have a daily trade of $1.3 billion. We have become so integrated that Mexico's export to the world have 40% U.S. content. Mexico is the bridge between the U.S. and Latin America. We are the 15th largest economy in the world and the G20's 5th most open economy. Can I have more light, please? And the 5th most open economy with 11 free trade agreements, preferential access to a market of 1 billion people in 46 countries. We are the 4th largest auto exporter in the world, the 6th aerospace supplier, 3rd IT services supplier. In summary, we are moving forward, and we invite you to take advantage of the great possibilities the Mexico and U.S. relationship has to offer. Let me share a quote from our Secretary of State, Claudia Ruiz-Massieu. What we share is greater than what divides us. Let us make no mistake. And let there be no confusion. Mexico and California, Mexico and the United States are neighbors, allies, and friends. Our unbreakable partnership is indeed based on history, commerce, and prosperity, but above all, is based on the certainty that we are better and stronger together than we are apart. We recognize the great importance contribution of the micro, small, and medium enterprises as the largest employers and the motor of this nation economy. I'm certain that these 3 days of networking and business engagement will be meaningful, that many business deals will be made, and I wish you very successful summit. Felicidades y muchas gracias. Nos tienen a sus órdenes en el Consulado de México.
Who's using the hashtag InnovativeCHCC? Nobody? There you go. Okay. I don't feel lonely on this. Selfies? Salad selfies? Just kidding. I just want to remind you to make sure and check out the Business and Innovation Expo that it's going to be going all day today and tomorrow on the second floor in this exhibit hall. And now we're going to welcome, I just realized we have a teleprompter. See? I'm getting used to it and it's almost time to go. Now let's welcome Supervisor Chuck Washington.
Good afternoon. How's everyone today? It's great to be here. It's great to have this opportunity to speak with you. As she said, I'm Chuck Washington. I'm the 3rd District Supervisor for the Riverside County. I want to welcome you on behalf of the Riverside County Board of Supervisors and the 2.3 million residents of this great county. I'm especially excited to have you here in our county and applaud your efforts and successes in promoting small businesses and small business opportunities for our Hispanic community. Your success is our success. As many of you know, the majority of jobs created are created by small businesses. On a personal note, my family has owned a small business for 6 years, and I have taken great pride in watching my son-in-law's work ethic place his family solidly in the middle class. Additionally, I am a past director of a chamber board and understand the important role that chambers play in helping businesses succeed. As a county supervisor, one of my highest priorities is to facilitate the growth and thriving of our local and regional economy, and we bring the backing of all of the county's tools and resources. So again, welcome to Riverside County. We are open for business.
Oh yeah, the party's just begun. California dreaming. Si se puede, California. Come on.
How's everyone doing? Good? A little better now? Everyone ate? That's why you're speaking up now. Who's using the hashtag? What's the hashtag again? InnovateCHCC, not innovation. Okay, now let's welcome Marlene Marroquin. I hope she's ready. Can we get an applause?
So much fun. Oh, baby, feels so good. Stella drinking Corona. Merlot with no
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure for me to be here. My name is Marlene Marroquin. I'm the Executive Director of the United States-Mexico Chamber of Commerce, and I've been collaborating with the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, so it's an honor to be here. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Jim McLellan, who happens to be our chairman of the United States-Mexico Chamber of Commerce, and he is responsible for the trade promotion programs of the Port of Los Angeles, and he has increased trade for the last 20 years. He's received a presidential recognition on his Trade Connect programs. Prior to joining the Port of Los Angeles in 1992, he spent more than 20 years working internationally in the maritime and intermodal shipping business. He's a wealth of knowledge. Please help me welcome our keynote speaker, Jim McLellan from the Port of Los Angeles.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's also an honor to share some considerations with you on global trade and trade specifically with California. And thank you, Marlene, for your very kind introduction. And it has been a great pleasure to work with you for many years to help to increase trade, because that's basically my day job, is to increase trade. So I'd also like to give sincere thanks to Bob Gutierrez and Juan Garcia of the California Hispanic Chamber for this invitation to this wonderful event. So I'd also like to greet all the elected officials and government officials here today. I see many old friends. It's wonderful to be to Riverside. It's a very dynamic business community. And I'd like to share with you 3 pieces of good news. First of all, we have recovered from the Great Recession in terms of the value of our air and sea cargo through Southern California. So this is very good news. The second piece of good news is that Southern California still has the largest concentration of manufacturing and distribution centers in the entire United States. This is a great strength to have. And the third piece of good news is that international trade is one of the 2 pillars of our economy in Southern California. So it is very important to our economy. However, I have 3 questions to ask today. The first question I would like to ask is, will our rate of growth continue at a slow rate? Usually at this time of an economic recovery, our trade is recovering at a much more rapid pace. So why is this? Is it because we are a mature economy? Is it because China has been slowing down somewhat? Anyway, the second question I have is, have we done everything we can to leverage our excellent ports, airports, and distribution centers for economic and trade development? And the third question I have is, if we haven't leveraged these assets as much as we could, how can we most efficiently do that? So we need to help increase the growth of our economy. So I'd like to share some ideas I have to try to answer some of those 3 questions. But first, I'd like to just review a few basic economic facts with regard to trade. In 2015, the total activity for physical cargoes, this doesn't include services, for example, or intellectual property, but the actual physical air and sea cargo handled by Southern California with Mexico, as an example, was $63 billion. And with the world was $393 billion. So we are the #1 trade district in the entire United States, according to U.S. Customs. But I'd like to say and admit that our trade pales into insignificance compared to our rival in Texas, because Texas is a much stronger trade with Mexico, for example. So when I looked into these figures of Texas trade, I discovered that actually a lot of the trade going, for example, from Mexico through Texas is actually destined to California. But that's another point. I'd like to also say that one of the pillars of our economy is not just physical trade, but tourism, both at the port with our cruise ships and also with cruise and tourist passengers coming through the airport. That's one of the biggest economic boosts that we give to the regional economy. And I'll explain to you why. If we have 500,000 cruise passengers, and they each spend $150 on their local meals and souvenirs, that brings it up to $75 million injected directly into the economy. So that the more we can do to encourage tourism to spend the extra time in our Southern California region, the more money we can put into the hands of local businesses. I'd like to also say that ocean containers are not prominent in the trade statistics because most of Mexico's trade, for example, with California, takes place on the border area with truck and rail. However, if you look at the total trade, it's enormous. And in fact, Mexico and Canada are our two largest trading partners, as you know, with California. But let's look at the Inland Empire. The Inland Empire, Mexico, in last year we did $1.3 billion of export trade to Mexico, $1.2 billion with Canada, and only $750 million to Japan and $760 million to China. So you can see how Mexico is so important to the health of our economy here in the Inland Empire. People don't realize. We also import salt, gypsum for building materials, sand and gravel for construction projects, and many other commodities. Due to the gradual increase in labor costs along the industrial coast of China, an amazing development has occurred. In some cases, the cost for manufacturing in Mexico, and I'd like to particularly refer to the former maquiladora sector on the Tijuana and Sonora areas, the actual rates of skilled labor are competitive with that of coastal China. So because of having this experience on our border and training, we are able to see fantastic reshoring beginning to occur. And this reshoring benefits our entire region of Southern California and northern Baja and Sonora, because truly we are one mega region. We have to supply billions of dollars worth of components from Southern California and services to this sector on the border, which is growing very rapidly. So I would like to say that this border cooperation holds out the prospects to answer one of the questions: how can we increase and leverage our facilities for increased economic activity? Because these facilities enable us to be competitive in the Pacific Rim. Can you imagine what that could do to our economy in Southern California and North Baja? It's already beginning to take place. So, what do we have to do to help improve it? Well, first of all, before I answer that question, I'd like to just talk briefly about the free trade agreements that the United States has. We know about NAFTA, and we're celebrating 21 years with Canada and Mexico. But under the Obama administration, we also implemented free trade agreements with Panama and with Colombia. And if you add those agreements with the Central American free trade agreements, along with Peru and Chile, we have a vertical axis going from north to south along the west coast of the Americas of free trade agreements, only with the exception of Ecuador, which is actually also a good trading partner. Are we leveraging this incredible development? Because we can, because we're at the focal point of this axis in terms of both air and sea cargo. And with our mega region being competitive, we can accomplish many things. So I know the consul from Mexico mentioned that Mexico is a bridge to Latin America, but I believe our mega region of Southern California and North Baja and Sonora is actually a platform for projecting our economic expansion into the Pacific Rim. So if I could ask for public policy to help accelerate this, because I agree with the earlier speaker who said that the private sector has to carry this out. I would say that the enhancement is to improve the speed of the crossing of the border for safe cargo and business people. And I think we have to unite to request additional technology, staffing, and facilities so that we can unleash this economic potential. There are some estimates about the penalties that we are enduring because of slow crossing of the borders, and some of these penalties may exceed $14 billion a year because we're not efficiently crossing safe cargo. So it should constitute a high policy priority, in my opinion, because this would be a very straightforward and quick way to improve the strength of our regional economy. So let me recap on a few initiatives that we could do with both Mexico and Latin America to cooperate and build relationships to increase long-term mutual prosperity with our neighbors and our economies. First of all, I'll repeat again, border efficiency. This should be a priority. And the public-private partnerships that have been developing facilities are a wonderful step forward. But I think it would be good to have long-term planning by federal government, state government, and our local governments so that we can lay the foundation for long-term improvements and expand our capacity, not only for our region, but as I said, to make us a dynamic platform for California and the Baja Sonora mega region to compete in the Pacific Rim. I'd also like to think that we can cooperate with many private and public entities to increase our tourism, both in terms of cruise tourism and also through air travel, because that brings a tremendous amount of service activity to our local small businesses. And my final point is matchmaking. What do I mean by matchmaking? How can we connect small business and even micro-entrepreneurs to our communities on both sides of the borders throughout Mexico and Latin America, especially on the West Coast, where we have the air cargo and sea cargo links? If we could provide microfinance to entrepreneurs in developing countries, why can't we provide transaction-based finance on valid trade for our local entrepreneurs? I'm convinced that relying solely on multinationals to provide us with tens of thousands of jobs will not create a sustainable long-term development. I think that we have to build our economy from the bottom up with small business and entrepreneurs, which are the backbone, especially in Southern California, of our business community. And again, I don't think that this poses a problem because the track records of microfinance is actually very good in terms of repayment. So if the bottom of the pyramid of society of small business is solid and prospering, it will benefit all levels of society for the long term. So to conclude, I think we stand at a turning point that promises a higher level of bilateral economic and trade activity between our economies, not only with Mexico, but with Latin America as a whole. So I see that NAFTA can positively evolve. So So NAFTA was successful in creating an economic common market. But can we not take it a step further and project our commercial common strengths into the Pacific Rim to increase our export revenues and business opportunities, and ultimately to bring better balanced budgets for North America as a whole, as a team? I realize Texas has a close working relationship with their neighboring states in Mexico, but I believe we have greater potential because of our closer access to Pacific Rim markets, especially speaking selfishly on behalf of the port. So I feel we have long-term resilience because there's a massively growing middle class of consumers in Asia and the Pacific Rim with disposable income. And this is a true revolution that opens up opportunities for us. So, building on NAFTA, I hope that we can build a renewed economic prosperity, both in our domestic markets and around the world. So I look forward to opening a conversation with you on increasing our long-term economic prosperity through trade. Thank you very much.
Now let's what? We're going to take a break. We're going to enjoy lunch, and then we'll be back to our program shortly. So, buen provecho.